George Clooney and Amal Clooney have been hailed as one of Hollywood's most iconic power couples, a blend of Hollywood charm and global intelligence. George, the charismatic actor turned humanitarian, and Amal, the high-profile international human rights attorney, have always managed to present a united, graceful front. But behind the designer gowns and Oscar-winning smiles, something has been brewing. And now, after a recent Candid interview, the fairytale might just be cracking. In a moment that left fans stunned, Amal Clooney made a confession that nobody saw coming. During a private conversation that has now gone public, Amal spoke about what it's really like living with George, and let's just say it shattered a few illusions. She reportedly described George as incredibly charming in public, but emotionally unavailable and often dismissive in private. According to sources close to the couple, Amal's confession wasn't said with bitterness but with a kind of exhausted acceptance. The world sees a movie star. I see someone who still doesn't know how to sit still, who struggles with vulnerability, who sometimes puts performance before presence. This statement has ignited a firestorm online, with fans and critics now questioning whether George Clooney is the man they thought he was, or just another Hollywood illusion. Social media didn't take long to explode with commentary. Longtime fans of George felt heartbroken. One user tweeted, "How could someone who speaks so much about justice, kindness, and global change be emotionally cold to the woman who stood by his side through it all?" Another fan wrote, "I used to admire George Clooney so much. But now, I just feel disappointed." For many, this confession feels like a betrayal, not just to Amal, but to the public who bought into the image of a reformed bachelor turned devoted husband. George Clooney had carefully curated his poster image, shifting from Hollywood playboy to humanitarian hero. But now, the mask might be slipping. Let's not forget that George Clooney wasn't always seen as the perfect man. His bachelor days were filled with tabloid stories and playboy narratives. But when he married Amal in 2014, everything seemed to change. He became a father, a political commentator, and a voice for justice. But Amal's comments suggest that the transition may not have been as smooth, or sincere, as the media portrayed. Insiders say George has always struggled with intimacy, and that while he deeply respects Amal, he finds it hard to open up emotionally. He's used to controlling the narrative, said a source close to the couple. But Amal isn't interested in playing pretend. She values truth over appearances. And that's creating tension. Those close to Amal suggest she's grown weary of the charade. Despite their public appearances, always elegant, always in sync, Amal is said to be increasingly tired of living in George's carefully curated spotlight. She wants authenticity, a partner who shows up for the little moments, not just the red carpets and political summits. The confession was likely a tipping point. It wasn't a scandalous exposé. It was something much more powerful, raw honesty. And it's that honesty that's got fans re-evaluating everything they thought they knew. As the confession continues to circulate, public opinion is clearly shifting. Hashtags like #FakeClooney and #TeamAmal have started trending. Celebrity bloggers and media outlets are now publishing think pieces asking whether George Clooney has been performing for the cameras all along. Even more jarring is the speculation that Amal may have stayed silent for too long. Critics argue that George used her brilliance and credibility to elevate his own brand. After all, what better way to reform your image than marrying a brilliant international lawyer? But now that Amal is speaking out, people are starting to see things differently. This could spell major trouble for George Clooney, whose brand relies heavily on public admiration. His business ventures, from Casamigos tequila to directing films, are built on a foundation of likability. If that image is shattered, the domino effect could be brutal. While George has not yet responded to Amal's remarks, the silence is deafening. Some say he's hoping the storm will pass. Others believe he's in damage control mode behind the scenes, trying to protect his carefully managed legacy. But the fans aren't buying it this time. The big question now is, where does this leave George and Amal? Is their relationship strong enough to survive this public unraveling? And more importantly, will fans ever see George Clooney the same way again? Whether this is a temporary hiccup or the beginning of a larger unraveling, one thing is clear: the public is watching. Amal Clooney's words have done more than spark a conversation, they've flipped the spotlight and forced us to question the narratives we accept from celebrities. George Clooney may still be the charming gentleman on-screen, but behind the scenes, fans are now wondering, who is the real George? If you found this video as eye-opening as we did, make sure to smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more exclusive celebrity deep dives, Hollywood drama, and shocking revelations. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you still believe in the Clooney fairy tale, or has Amal opened our eyes to the truth?